Prince Andrew, seen with his mother the Queen, smiling just days ago. At the time, the image seen as a sign of support from Buckingham Palace. But it's his relationship with a then 17-year-old American woman, photographed standing next to him in 2001, and his friendship with sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, pictured with the prince after leaving prison in 2010, that has US authorities wanting to speak to him as part of an investigation into allegations of sex trafficking.
The Southern District of New York and the FBI have contacted Prince Andrew's attorneys and requested to interview Prince Andrew. And to date, Prince Andrew has provided zero cooperation.
Buckingham Palace silent on the issue this morning. Prince Andrew does have his own legal team. Epstein, who was accused of trafficking girls for high-profile men, took his own life in a jail cell last year. In an exclusive interview last year, the young woman in the photo, Virginia Giuffre, told Savannah Prince Andrew had sex with her when she was a teenager, after she was trafficked by Epstein.
He said, thank you, and I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that even royalty were involved.
Prince Andrew, of course, denies that this ever happened.
He denies that it ever happened, and he's going to keep denying that it ever happened. But he knows the truth, and I know the truth.
Prince Andrew says he has no recollection of meeting Giuffre and denies having any form of sexual contact with her. But now the accusation of stonewalling, after the prince said in a November BBC interview he might testify under oath.
Well, I'm like everybody else, and I would have to take all the legal advice that there was before I was to do that sort of thing. But if push came to shove and the legal advice was to do so, then I would be duty-bound to do so.
After that interview, he stepped back from royal duties for the foreseeable future, repeating in a statement that he was willing to help any law enforcement agency if required. US investigators now trying to hold him to that promise and to keep pursuing the truth.
Jeffrey Epstein couldn't have done what he did without the assistance of others, and I can assure you that our investigation is moving forward.
Here, Prince Andrew has said he would cooperate if required. So how does it work legally? Do U.S. officials plan on requiring him to do so? I mean, do they have the legal authority to compel him to come and talk to them?
Well, they can't extradite him to there in the US. He's a prince, a member of the royal family. He's entitled here to diplomatic protection, Savannah. A number of lawyers, legal experts that we've spoken to here in the UK think that really what they're trying to do is embarrass him into cooperating, and be in no doubt it is embarrassing for the royal family, not least a number of people who are comparing the treatment of Prince Andrew, as they see it, to the treatment by the royal family of Harry and Meghan. It is embarrassing. One of Virginia Giuffre's US lawyers saying Prince Andrew should take more seriously the deeply held belief in this country that no one is above the law.